and the topic is settlements. So, how can we define settlements? Settlements can be defined as grouping of people and houses in different forms, like villages, cities, towns, hamlets, and many others. So, in simple words, we can say settlements are the grouping of people which is generally permanent. Okay, so we have various types of settlement. So let's see how settlements are categorized. So there are two main types of settlements: um, rural settlements and urban settlement. Then, if we see the subtypes of rural settlement, we have some others. It's quite big. Okay, so rural settlement and urban settlements. Now, rural settlement is further divided into two types. First one is nucleated, nucleated rural settlement. And then we have dispersed rural settlement. Dispersed rural settlement. Dispersed has only one subtype, and that is farmstead. A lone house which is near a farm. Okay, then nucleated are further divided into two types. First one is hamlet, and the second is a village. Okay, now the urban settlements. Urban settlements are categorized into one subtype. Like when we see rural, we have nucleated and dispersed, but urban settlements are not dispersed. So it's only nucleated. Okay, then this nucleated urban settlement is categorized into three subtypes. but there can be more with the passage of time and with the development of urban settlements. So, town is nucleated urban settlement, then city is nucleated urban settlement, then metropolis is nucleated urban settlement. Right. Then if we talk about, there are some other subtypes as well, but let's discuss these main types and then we'll move further. So settlement is grouping of people and houses, and there are two main types of settlements, rural and urban. Rural means the settlements which have um, primary activities. So how these settlements, the rural and urban, are differentiated? So these are mainly differentiated on the basis of the activities and functions which are performed in these areas. So according to economic activities, we have rural and urban settlements. So rural has um, more primary settlements, and urban, more primary activities, while urban has more secondary and advanced activities. Um, then rural are further divided into nucleated and dispersed. Nucleated are the settlements which are located or which are spread around a central focal point. So that is a nucleated area where the places are close to each other, the houses are close to each other, and they those houses lie around some feature like a village well or a mosque or any small market within the village. So that is a nucleated rural settlement, and dispersed where the houses are not close to each other. The houses are randomly spread across a given area. All right, then we have hamlet and village as example of nucleated settlements, nucleated rural settlements. So hamlet is a village which has hamlet is a village which has only one house, a very small village, and while village has multiple houses. Then we have the dispersed settlement, and the example of dispersed settlement is a farmstead. So farmstead is a single farm along with its residential portion, like the house for the owner and the house for um stable or the people who look after the stable or the farmers. So that is a farmstead, and there the houses or the buildings are not properly arranged, they are dispersed across that particular farm. The next type is urban settlement. So urban settlements are nucleated. The houses in urban settlements are grouped together. They are close to each other. So according to that, we have three major categories. We have some other as well. So town, city, and metropolis. So these three are kind of same. The only difference is the main difference is the population. So town has less population, city has more population, while metropolis has the highest number of population. Okay, so what are you asking? That जो मैं टाइप कर रही हूँ वो नज़र क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? इट शुड हैव बीन रिटन। इस वक्त स्क्रीन पर वाइट बोर्ड है और उसमें सेटलमेंट्स की टाइप्स मैंने एक ट्री की फॉर्म में बनाई है, ठीक है? तो आई थिंक यू कैन सी दैट, और आप स्क्रीनशॉट भी उसका ले सकते हो, एंड यू विल गेट द रिकॉर्डिंग एज वेल। बट आई वुड सजेस्ट के साथ साथ आप लिखें तो बेहतर है, क्योंकि जब इतनी सारी रिकॉर्डिंग्स एक्यूमुलेट हो जाती हैं तो वो बस फिर रखी रह जाती हैं अलमारियों में, आई मीन इन योर इनबॉक्स एंड एवरीवेयर। Okay, if you want to say something apart from this, we will talk about it in the end of the class. Okay, अभी let me complete that topic. फिर बात करते हैं सारा. Okay, so nucleated urban settlements दो types के, तीन types के, town, city and metropolis. इनका major difference है population का. Town की population कम, it is said something around 50,000 or 100,000. देन सिटी की 100,000 से ज़्यादा, और मेट्रोपोलिस की जो है मिलियंस में जब पॉपुलेशन चली जाती है, लाइक कराची, लाइक लाहौर, लाइक मुंबई, लाइक न्यूयॉर्क। सो ये मेट्रोपोलिस है। इनमें कुछ सिटीज़ ऐसे भी हैं जिनकी पॉपुलेशन इतनी ज़्यादा एक्सीड कर चुकी है, या एरियाज़ इतने बढ़ चुके हैं कि अब मेट्रोपोलिस के बाद एक नई टर्मिनोलॉजी यूज़ की जाती है, दैट इज़ मेगापोलिस। So somewhere megapolis is also used, and conurbation, megapolis and conurbation is also used. लेकिन इस मेजर क्लासिफिकेशन के अंदर वो शामिल नहीं किया गया है. मे बी इट्स बिकॉज द बुक इज ओल्ड, दैट्स व्हाई. Megapolis, and and if it gets even bigger, like when two or more cities merge up, like some of the cities in Japan. So that merger of two or three cities make up an urban conurbation. So ये settlements की कुछ major types हैं, and then according to shapes and arrangement, we have some types of villages. So let's see how many types of villages are there on the basis of the shape. I'm clearing this screen. All right, so village types on the basis of shape and structure of houses. So we have linear hamlet, linear hamlet can be like an area where along a road or a river, some of the hamlet, I've told you that hamlet is individual house. So along a line, many individual houses are there. So that is a linear hamlet, and the structure of linear hamlet is something like this. Then second type is a grouped hamlet. A grouped hamlet, there again, this, like if we see the linear hamlet, there is a river or it might be a road. Generally, it's a river. So in a grouped hamlet, the river might have different branches. So along the branches, there are some lone houses which look grouped, or we can say they are not linear. Since they are not linear, that's why it's called as a grouped hamlet. Then third type is a string village. Now, village has houses which are arranged together. So, in a string village, the term string shows it's like a string or a rope. So, along a linear feature, the houses are arranged in a string manner in a linear pattern. So, okay, I'm making dots as the houses, okay, just to save time. So this is a string village, and the difference between a linear hamlet and a string village is that the number of houses in a linear hamlet is very less, while a string village has a big number of houses which are close to each other. So this is a string village. Then we have the next type, which is cluster village. Cluster village. So along some roads, or we can say some streets, the houses are spread across and close to each other. This is a cluster village. Where the houses are clustered or grouped together. This is a common village found in Pakistan, cluster village. Then the next one is round village. These are the villages which are protected by some boundary. Maybe that boundary is made to protect from some wild animals or some intruders. So it has barn boundary or any wall. So that is a round village. And sometimes in the center of the round village, there is a masjid or there is a well. Excuse me. So if the walled village is round in shape, it's a round village. And if it's not round, then it's simply a a walled village. Walled village. So it has a wall around it, and the houses are clustered inside the wall. That's a walled village. Okay, so now when we have done this type of rural settlements, let's discuss the factors which define these settlement types. Clear all drawings. Okay. Now the topic is citing factors for rural settlements. So first one is water supply. So most of the villages are made or are built where there is a water supply like a spring, like a well or a river. Second factor for citing factor for rural settlement is the type of land. So if the land is fertile, then villages are settled there. Okay, and if the land is like if the land is fertile, then it's a farming village. If the land is swampy or coastal, then it's a fishing village. If the land is dry, can be a mining village. And the land must be from away from flood extent. So the area should be in a place where it is away from the flood water. Then shelters, citing factor for rural settlement, shelter. So there must be material available to build houses. Material for houses. Otherwise, it would be pointless to live or build any settlement in that type of area. Then again, the same point which we have discussed earlier as well, health or diseases, people will choose, especially even for villages, they will not choose an area where there are diseases like malaria and other diseases. Okay, then defense factor, that area or that site must be free of conflicts. Like people will not settle a village near near an area where there is a war zone or any kind of political instability. Okay, so these are the citing factors for rural settlements. And citing factors for urban settlements are more or less the same, but some of the factors are added up in urban settlement, and that is accessibility. Let me write down. So there should be water supply. These are the citing factors for urban settlements. So there should be water supply. The land must be plain comparatively. It should be. It should have shelter, the material for houses, or it must have accessibility to resources. There should be health and must have good transportation system. There is no urban area in the world which is away from the rest of the world. It must have a transportation link, and it must be accessible. So these are the citing factors for urban settlements. Okay, now functions of rural settlement. What are the different activities found in a rural settlement? So most of them are agricultural in nature. So they have agriculture. Then, apart from agriculture, rural settlements have a small marketplace. In a rural settlement, religious place holds a big importance. It can be a masjid in case of the Pakistani or the Muslim villages. Otherwise, it can be a church or a temple. So those places are frequently visited by the people of the villages. And then in villages, they have a we can say owner, or there are different words in Pakistan for that, Sardar or Vadira. So their houses also hold a very important place in a village setup. Then sometimes the function of a village is fishing, if there is fishing facility available. Then mining, if a mine is near a village, and most of the time we have villages near mines. And if the village is near a forest, then lumbering is also a function. Lumbering is cutting of woods for furniture and different other uh, uses. Agriculture, marketplace, religious place, and yeah, well or a river or a spring also holds an important um, location in a village setup, in a rural setup. So these are the functions of rural settlement. And here I am stopping today's lesson, and we will continue with the urban settlements in our next class.